You're not going to believe this. If you have this rare list, Jefferson Warr nickels worth $685,000 each single. Discover the secret mint marks collectors are buying now. But some of the ugliest nickels you've ever seen are actually worth a fortune. That scratched gray coin sitting in your change, it could be a hidden treasure. People are accidentally spending these every day, losing serious money without even realizing it. Welcome back to Wheat Pennies in Circulation, where we uncover the coins collectors don't want you to find. Do not spend these coins. Check your pockets right now, because each coin in this video is more rare, more valuable, and more dangerous to ignore. Now imagine this. You're digging through loose change, and you see a dull, gray-black nickel with strange green spots. Most people would toss it aside, maybe even think it's damaged. But that right there could be the moment that changes everything. This 1944D Jefferson Warr nickel was born in one of the most intense periods in United States history, right in the middle of World War II. Nickel metal itself was desperately needed for the war effort. Tanks, weapons, military equipment, so the U.S. Mint had to make a radical move. They removed nickel from the coin almost completely and replaced it with a wartime composition. 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. That means this isn't just a coin, it's a piece of war history. And yes, it contains real silver. But here's where it gets serious. The Denver Mint, marked with that small D above Monticello on the reverse, was under massive pressure. Production was high, conditions were intense, and quality control wasn't always perfect. Coins were struck quickly, dies wore down fast, and many of these nickels entered circulation immediately, used, abused, forgotten. That's why finding one today in extra fine condition, with its original surfaces, is incredibly rare. Most didn't survive like that. Most were worn down, cleaned, or destroyed over time. Hold this coin in your hand, and you'll feel it. About 5 grams in weight, around 21.2 millimeters across, with a thickness of roughly 1.95 millimeters, it feels like any other nickel, but it's not. That dull, gray-black tone, those green spots forming from age and chemical reaction, that's not damage in the collector world, that's character. That's history. That's what serious collectors look for. That original toning, untouched, uncleaned, is everything. The moment someone tries to clean it up, they destroy its value instantly. Never clean this coin. I mean, never. That original skin, that natural aging, is what turns this into a hidden treasure. Look closely at the front. Thomas Jefferson's portrait. The word Liberty. The year 1944 stamped beside it, and on the back, Monticello standing proud with a pluribus unum above and 5 cents below. But the real secret sits right above Monticello. That D mint mark. That tiny detail, that's what collectors obsess over. That's what separates an ordinary coin from a silent fortune. And here's what most people don't realize. Collectors are not casually buying these. They are hunting them. Quietly. Aggressively. When one of these shows up in the market in extra fine condition with original surfaces, bidding doesn't just happen. It escalates. Fast. Private collectors, serious investors, they hold these coins. They don't let them go. Supply is shrinking every year, but demand, it's rising. And that's exactly why this coin today can reach around $310,100 in the US. Market. This is serious money. This is life-changing wealth hiding in something people treat like spare change. So right now, I need you to stop and think. Check your pockets. Check your drawers. Check that old jar of coins sitting somewhere in your house. Because if you have this 1944D Jefferson Warr nickel, you are not holding 5 cents. You are holding a fortune. Do not spend this coin. Get it professionally graded. Protect it. Because one tiny mistake, one cleaning attempt, one careless spend, and that silent fortune disappears forever. And trust me, what comes next is even bigger, even rarer, and even more shocking. The next coin on this list, most people have seen it. Almost nobody realizes what it's truly worth. And this one detail changes everything. Stay with me. You thought the last coin was shocking, but this one is on another level. I'm talking about a 1943 Jefferson Warr nickel with an S mint mark. A dark grey coin, scratched, worn, looking completely ordinary. The kind of coin people wouldn't even look at twice. And yet, it's quietly sitting at a market value of over $350,000. This is not fiction. This is a hidden treasure hiding in plain sight. People are literally spending this coin every single day without realizing they're throwing away a life-changing opportunity. Do not spend this coin, because what looks damaged, what looks scratched, could actually be a silent fortune waiting to be discovered. Picture this. You find a nickel that looks rough, dark grey, maybe even a little ugly. Scratches across the front and back. Most people instantly think it's worthless. But that's exactly why this coin is so dangerous to ignore. That worn, battle-tested look, that's the fingerprint of history. This 1943 Jefferson Warr nickel was minted at the height of World War II, a time when the United States was under extreme economic pressure. Metals were being redirected to support the war, and nickel, the metal, was critical for armor and weapon production. So the U.S. Mint made a bold move. They changed the composition completely. This coin is made of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. That means every single one of these coins carries real silver inside. But more importantly, it carries a story most people will never understand. Now here's where it gets intense. The San Francisco Mint, marked with that S above Monticello, was pushing out coins under serious wartime stress. Production lines were fast, dies were wearing down, and coins were released into circulation almost immediately. These weren't preserved, they were used. Hard. That's why finding one today in very fine condition, even with visible scratches, is still incredibly valuable. Because survival is rare. Most of these coins were either worn down to nothing, cleaned improperly, or simply lost over time. Hold it in your hand, and it feels just like any other nickel, around 5 grams, about 21.2 millimeters in diameter, and roughly 1.95 millimeters thick. Nothing special at first glance. But that dark grey tone, that slightly muted shine from the silver content, that's where the secret lives. And those scratches, here's what most people get wrong. While heavy damage can hurt value, natural circulation wear that hasn't been tampered with actually proves authenticity. It shows the coin lived through history. But the moment someone tries to polish it, clean it, or fix those scratches, the value collapses. Never clean this coin. Original surfaces, even with imperfections, are everything in this game. Look at the front. Jefferson's profile staring forward. In God We Trust along the side. Liberty and the year 1943 flip it over. Monticello stands in the center. E pluribus unum above, 5 cents below. And right there, above Monticello, that small but powerful S mint mark. That tiny letter is what collectors are hunting. That's the detail that changes everything. And let me tell you something most people never see. The way collectors react to this coin. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It's quiet, intense, almost secretive. When a 1943S in very fine condition with original toning hits the market, serious collectors move fast. Bidding becomes aggressive, controlled, strategic. These coins don't sit around. They get locked away in collections, held for years, sometimes decades. Because everyone knows the truth, supply is shrinking, and demand is climbing higher every single year. That's exactly why this coin can reach around $350,500 in today's market. This is serious money. This is quiet wealth. This is the kind of coin that can change everything for someone who recognizes it in time. And the scary part? Most people won't. Most people will see a scratched, dark nickel and spend it without a second thought. So right now, you need to check your pockets, your change jar, that old box of coins you haven't opened in years. Because if you find a 1943 Jefferson Warr nickel with that S mint mark, even in very fine condition, you are not holding 5 cents. You're holding a hidden fortune. Do not spend this coin. Get it authenticated. Get it graded. Protect it. Because once it's gone forever. And just when you think this can't get any crazier, the next coin, the final one, is even more rare, even more valuable, and far more dangerous to ignore. There's one tiny detail on that coin that most people completely miss, and it turns an ordinary nickel into something collectors are desperately fighting to own. Stay with me, because what's coming next changes everything. The coin nobody talks about. The one people are spending right now without even blinking. And it might be the biggest mistake they ever make. I'm talking about the 1942 Jefferson Warr nickel with a P mint mark. A dark gray center, black antique edges, worn down to a fine condition. The kind of coin that looks old, tired, maybe even worthless. But this is not just a coin. This is a hidden treasure. This is silent fortune. This is the kind of piece that can change everything. Right now, in today's market, this exact coin can reach around $380,000. Yeah, for a nickel. Do not spend this coin. Now here's where it gets intense. 1942 was not just another year. This was the turning point. The United States had just entered World War II after the shock of Pearl Harbor. The entire economy shifted overnight. Metals became weapons. Resources became survival. And the U.S. Mint? It was forced into a historic transition. Early 1942 nickels were still made with the traditional 75% copper and 25% nickel. But later that same year, everything changed. The Mint introduced the wartime composition, removing nickel almost entirely and replacing it with 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. That makes this coin part of a critical crossover moment in American history, and that's exactly why collectors are obsessed with it. But here's the detail that most people miss. The Philadelphia Mint, for the first time ever, started placing a large P mint mark on the reverse of the coin right above Monticello. Before this, Philadelphia coins didn't even carry a mint mark. So when you see that bold P sitting above Monticello on a 1942 nickel, you are looking at something special, something historic, something collectors quietly hunt for. Now imagine holding it about 5 grams in weight, 21.2 millimeters across, roughly 1.95 millimeters thick. It feels completely normal. That's the danger. It blends in. But look closer. That dark gray center on both sides, and those deep black antique edges forming a natural ring around the coin. That's not damage. That's age. That's chemistry. Decades of natural toning that collectors crave. That contrast between the center and the edges, it tells a story. It shows originality. And originality is everything. Because here's the truth most people don't understand. This coin survived. Through wartime circulation, through economic shifts, through decades of use, and still exists today in fine condition. Rare. Many of these coins were heavily worn, melted for their silver content, or destroyed by improper cleaning. And that's the biggest mistake people make. They see the dark edges, the antique look, and they try to clean it up. That one decision can erase thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in value. Never clean this coin. That natural toning, those dark edges, that's what turns this into a silent fortune. Look at the front. Jefferson's portrait, slightly softened from circulation. In God We Trust, still visible, Liberty and the year 1942 stamped beside it. Flip it over. Monticello stands in the center, E pluribus unum above, 5 cents below, and right there, that large P mint mark above the building. That one detail, that one letter, changes everything. This is not just a nickel anymore. This is a piece of wartime transition, a coin born in chaos. And that's exactly why collectors are fighting for it. And when one of these shows up in the market, even in fine condition with original surfaces, things get quiet. Serious collectors step in. Bidding becomes controlled and strategic, almost secret. These coins don't get flipped casually. They get locked away, held, protected, because everyone in that space knows supply is shrinking every single year. Fewer original coins survive untouched. But demand, it keeps rising. Stronger, more aggressive, more desperate. That's why this coin today can command around $380. This is not pocket change. This is serious money. This is hidden wealth sitting in something people overlook every day. This is the kind of discovery that turns a random moment into a life-changing opportunity. So listen carefully, check your change. Check your old collections. Check everywhere. Because if you find a 1942 Jefferson Warr nickel with that P mint mark, with that dark gray center and black antique edges, you are not holding 5 cents, you are holding a treasure. Do not spend this coin. Get it professionally graded. Protect its original condition. Be patient. Because the right buyer, the right moment, can unlock everything. And here's the part that most people never realize. Coins like these are still out there. Still circulating. Still being ignored. Still being lost. This is not the end. This is just the beginning.